This will be an HTML CSS tutorial on how to create a responsive YouTube video page. This will be a 3-column layout. I will be using VS Code on the Google Chrome web browser. Let me jump over to my web page here to show you what I'm talking about. This right here is the web page that I will be creating. There's 3 columns of YouTube videos here. From each YouTube video, it has a play button here. You could play the video right from here. I'm going to click on play. You got the controls down here at the bottom. I'm going to turn the volume down. You could turn on closed captioning. You could click on settings. You could adjust the quality. You could click on the YouTube icon and go to the YouTube website, or you could click on the full screen icon and you could go full screen. I'm going to hit escape to get out of there. I'm going to hit pause on this, and this is fully responsive. If I downsize my browser, the videos stack on top of each other. It's a pretty basic web page here, but you can always spice it up as good as what you want. You can continue on with these columns as far as what you want to add more videos. Let me jump over to VS Code and get set up here. Okay, I have VS Code opened up now. I'm going to create my folders and files from within inside VS Code. First thing, I'm going to create my main folder. I'm going to go up to the File tab. I'm going to click on the File tab. I'm going to go down to where it says Open Folder. I'm going to click on Open Folder. Now I'm going to choose the destination where I'm going to place my folder. I'm going to place mine on my desktop here. I'm going to click on Desktop. Then I'm going to scroll down to an empty area, and I'm going to right click. I'm going to go down to New and straight over to Folder. I'm going to click on Folder. Now I'm going to name my folder. I'm just going to name it 3-column YouTube layout. Now I'm going to click off of my folder. I'm going to select the folder, and I'm going to go down to the bottom and click on Select Folder. Now I have my main folder created, as you can see right up here, 3-column YouTube layout. I'm going to put my mouse cursor over that, and I'm going to click on New File. I'm going to call this file index.html. I'm going to hit Enter. Now I've created my HTML file. Now I'm going to create another folder to place my CSS file in. I'm going to go to the second icon here, and I'm going to click on that one. I'm going to call this CSS, just all lowercase. I'm going to hit Enter. Now I'm going to make sure that this CSS folder is selected by clicking on it. I'm going to go up to the first icon here, which if you put your mouse cursor over it, it says New File. I'm going to click on New File, and I'm going to type style.css. All lowercase. I'm going to hit Enter. Now as you can see, I've got the style.css file inside my CSS folder. If I click that little drop down arrow there, now I'm going to click on my index.html file. As you can see right here, index.html, that's the file that I'm working on here. I'm going to put my mouse cursor there next to the first line. I'm going to make an exclamation point, and then I'm going to click on this first wrench here. There is my boilerplate. Now I need to connect my HTML file to my CSS file. I'm going to go right up here, right above the title tags. I'm going to put my cursor at the end over here. I'm going to hit Enter to go down to the next line here. I'm going to type link, and I'm going to click on this first wrench here which says link. Link rel equals style sheet, href equals, in between those double quotations there, I'm going to type the name of my folder that I have my CSS file in. It's just called CSS. This is all case sensitive. I'm going to do a /, and then the name of my CSS file. Now if I place my mouse cursor over that CSS file, you'll see that follow link appear. If I click on that, it should take me to my CSS file. I'm going to click on follow link. It takes me over to my CSS file, so it is properly connected. I'm going to go up to the File tab. I'm going to save everything. I'm going to click on File, and I'm going to go down to where it says Save All. So everything is saved. Now I'm going to close my Explorer sidebar here. You don't have to do yours, but I'm going to close mine just to give me a little bit extra room for my screen recorder. I'm going to click on this little icon up here at the top left side. That opens and closes the sidebar. Okay, I'm going to jump over to my index.html file. I'm going to click right up here. I'm going to work on my HTML file. I'm going to put my mouse cursor at the end of the opening body tag, and I'm going to hit enter twice just to go down 2 lines, and I'm going to create my title for my page. I'm just going to use an H1 tag. VS Code automatically closes that tag for me, and in between the opening and closing H1 tags, I'm just going to write 3-column YouTube video layout. Now I'm going to put my cursor at the end of that closing H1 tag, and I'm going to go down 2 lines, and I'm going to create a div. I'm going to hit enter to separate my opening and closing div there, and I'm going to create 3 more divs. I'm going to put my cursor at the end of that closing div. I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to create another div. I'm going to put my cursor at the end of that closing div. I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to create the 3rd div. And now this top div up here, I'm going to add a class to it. I'm going to add a class to all of them, but this top one here, I'm going to put my cursor right after the V. I'm going to make a space. I'm going to type class equals double quotations, and in between those double quotations, I'm going to call this row underscore video. Now for each one of these other divs here in the middle, I'm going to place my mouse cursor after the V in the first one. I'm going to do a space. I'm going to create a class. Class equals double quotations, and I'm going to call this class column underscore video. Now I'm going to copy that from the last double quotation over to the beginning of class. I'm going to right click. I'm going to go down to copy. I'm going to place my mouse cursor at the end of the second div tag here. I'm going to do a space. I'm going to press Control V. I'm going to have the same class for all of these. I'm going to go down to the other div tag here, make a space, Control V. Now I am going to go over to my browser, and I'm going to select a YouTube video that I want to display on my web page here. I'm going to click on my browser here. I'm just on my own YouTube page here. I'm going to select this video right here. You could select any video. I'm going to select this one. I'm going to pause the video so it's not distracting. I'm going to go down to the bottom down here where it says share. Underneath the video it'll say share. I'm going to click on share. And then I'm going to click on this first icon here which says embedded. I'm going to click on that. And this code right off to the side here is what we need. I'm going to click on it to highlight it. I'm going to right click. I'm going to click on copy to copy that code. I'm going to go back over to VS Code now. And I'm going to go up to this div up here, this column video, the first div here. I'm going to put my cursor in between the opening and closing div tag. I'm going to hit enter to separate those two. And I'm going to press Control V to paste that code that I just copied. Control V. And now the only two things that I'm going to change here, I'm going to take this width out, and I'm also going to take out the frame border. If you leave those in, the HTML validator will bark at you for it. I'm going to put my cursor here. I'm going to erase that width. I'm going to hit the back arrow just to take it out. I'm going to add my own CSS, which will have width in it. And I'm going to go down to where it says frame border. I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to hit my back arrow. And now to take a little shortcut, I'm going to copy this iframe area 2 more times to place it in the next two. All you'll have to do is change the URL for the next two. I'm going to put my mouse cursor at the end of that closing iframe tag. I'm going to drag across it to highlight it. I want the whole thing highlighted. I'm going to right click. I'm going to go down to copy. I'm going to place my mouse cursor between the second opening and closing div tag here. I'm going to press Control V to paste it. Then I'm going to go down to the third column video class div, put my mouse cursor between the opening and closing div tag, press Control V to copy it, or to paste it, I'm sorry. Now I'm going to go up to File and down to Save. Then I'm going to open up my web page to see what I have so far. It's not going to be pretty because I don't have any CSS added so far. I'm going to open my folder. I'm going to double click on the index.html file. And that's what I have so far. I've repeated the same video 3 times. I'm going to jump back over to VS Code. And I'm going to go ahead and change this URL on these next two. I'm going to go back to my video page. I'm going to click off of this video. I'm going to click the back arrow. You just have to select 2 more videos. I'm going to select my video here as the next one. I'm going to hit pause just to stop the video. I'm going to go down to the bottom where it says share. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click on where it says embed. I'm going to copy this code. And the way that I do this, it won't allow you to just copy that URL. We already have the rest of the code, but it won't allow you. So I'm on a Windows machine. I'm going to open Notepad. I'm going to paste that code into Notepad, and that way I could just take the URL here. I just want what's between the double quotations. I'm going to right click, copy. I'm going to go back to VS Code. For the second video here, I'm going to go right between the double quotations and I'm going to replace that URL. Control V. Now I'm going to do it once more. I'm going to go back to my web page. I'm going to click off of that. I'm going to click the back arrow to go to a different video. I'm going to click on this one here. You could select any video. I'm going to hit pause. I'm going to go down and click on share. I'm going to click on embed. I'm going to copy this code. I'm going to go back to Notepad. I'm going to erase this code. This is the code from the one before. I'm going to hit the back arrow, Control V to paste my new code, and then I'm going to take that URL there. I'm going to right click, copy. I'm going to go back to VS Code, and for the third one, right between the double quotations, I'm going to press Control V to paste my new URL. Then I'm going to go up to File and down to Save. Okay, I'm going to jump over to the style.css file and start styling the web page now. I'm going to click up here on style.css, and I'm going to start off with the asterisk symbol, which is the universal selector. I'm going to make a space. I'm going to make my curly brackets. I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to go with a box sizing border box. Box sizing border box. Make sure you end it with your semicolon. I'm going to put my mouse cursor at the end of that last curly bracket. I'm going to hit enter twice, and then I'm going to call on the my column underscore video class, period, column underscore video. I'm going to make a space, and I'm going to do my curly brackets. Oops, there we go. I'm going to hit enter to separate the curly brackets. And what this is going to do, it's going to create the columns to where you could have three videos per row. I'm going to start off with a float left, float colon left, semicolon. I'm going to hit enter to go down to the next line. I'm going to make the width 33.33%. Width colon 33.33% semicolon. I'm going to hit enter to go down to the next line. I'm going to make the padding 10 pixels. Semicolon. I'm going to go down to the next line. I'm going to make it a minimum height of 400 pixels. Minimum height 400 pixels. I'm going to put my cursor outside of that last semicolon. I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to do text align center. Text align center. Now I'm going to put my cursor at the end of that last curly bracket. I'm going to hit enter twice, and now we need to make sure we clear our floats. I'm going to go period, row, underscore, video, semicolon, after. I'm going to make a space. I'm going to do my curly brackets. I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to go with content, colon. I'm going to make a pair of quotations. I'm going to put my mouse cursor outside of that last quotation, and I'm going to make a semicolon. I'm going to leave that empty. I'm going to go down to the next line. I want this to display table. Display colon, semicolon. I'm going to hit enter to go down to the next line, and I want this to clear both. Clear colon both, semicolon. Now I'm going to put my cursor at the end of that last curly bracket. I'm going to hit enter twice. Now I'm going to call on my iframe tags. I'm just going to type iframe, no period in front. I'm going to make a space. I'm going to do my curly brackets. I'm going to hit enter. And I'm going to make the width 100%, colon, 100%, semicolon. I'm going to go down to the next line, and I'm going to make the border 0 pixels. Now I'm going to go down to the bottom of that last curly bracket. I'm going to scroll up a little so I could see. I'm going to hit enter twice. And here's where I'm going to do my media query to make it responsive. I'm going to type @media space screen space and space parentheses, and in the middle of those parentheses I'm going to do max width 800%. Max width colon 800 pixels. I'm sorry, I said percent, I meant pixels. I'm going to go outside of that last parenthesis. I'm going to do a space. I'm going to make my curly brackets. I'm going to hit enter. And I'm going to call on the column video class, period, column, underscore, video, space. I'm going to make my curly brackets. I'm going to hit enter. And I'm going to go with a width of 100%. Semicolon. And what this does, it says any screen size under 800 pixels, the video will go to 100% of the screen. I'm going to go up to File. I'm going to go down to Save. I'm going to click on Save All to make sure everything is saved. I'm going to go back to the index file. One thing that I forgot to do was to create some titles for each video. The way I'm going to do that, I'm going to separate each one of these videos here, just to give a little bit of separation, the div tags that contain the videos, just so it's a little easier to see. And under each of the column underscore video opening div tags, under each one of them, I'm going to create an H3 tag. I'm going to put my cursor at the end of the first opening div tag. I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to create an H3 tag. I'm going to close that, and here's where you'll put your title. I'm going to copy this, highlight it. I'm going to right click, copy. I'm going to go down to the next one. I'm going to put my cursor right at the end of that opening div tag. I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to press Control V to paste it. I'm going to hit enter just so it has a little separation to it. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the last one. I'm going to scroll down a little. I'm going to put my cursor right after that opening div tag. I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to press Control V, and then I'm going to hit enter again just so it's easier to read. I'm going to go back up to File. I'm going to go down to Save. Now I'm going to jump back over to my web page. I'm going to hit the refresh button. And there's our 3 columns of YouTube videos here. If I press play, I'm going to kill the sound on it. Has all the controls at the bottom here. Your title would go up here. You can put whatever you want in for your title. And if you want to make more rows, it's very easy to do. I'm going to jump back over to VS Code. What you'll do is you'll take that opening div tag. I'm going to copy it. You want to go from the opening div tag down to the closing one. I'm going to right click, copy. I'm going to place my mouse cursor at the end of that closing div tag. I'm going to hit enter twice. And I'm going to do Control V to paste. And there's a whole nother row there. If you wanted to, you could create a horizontal line to separate them, and you can continue going. I'll place my mouse cursor at the end of that last closing div tag. I'll hit enter twice. I'll create a HR tag to make a line. I'm going to hit enter again, and I'm going to do Control V. And all you would have to do on these is change the URL. To have a separate video for each one, you just change the URL the way we did before. I'm going to go up to File, down to Save. I'm going to jump back over to my web page. I'm going to hit refresh. And there's 3 rows right there, and you can keep going. Like I said, you just have to change the URL to change the rest of the videos, and you can decorate it. You know, this isn't the prettiest layout here. You could decorate it any which way you wanted. And this is completely responsive. If I downsize my browser, it goes to a single row. Anything under 800 pixels, it stacks on top of each other, so it's responsive. But that is how you create a 3-column YouTube video layout in HTML and CSS. I will include a couple of text documents, which has the code that I created here, down in the description. Let me know if this has helped you out at all. These take a while to make. Let me know if they help you out at all. Thanks for watching.